folate drugs like methotrexate. These drugs also causes defective metabolism of specifically of the folate, causing the megaloblastic anemia. Sometimes there is a no cobalamin or folate deficiency, so there is independency, but there is a refractory to these therapies. The in spite of adequate supplement of cobalamin and folate, and despite of these, patient have a megaloblastic anemia like an acute myeloid leukemia or myelodysplasia. So in this therapy with drugs interfering with synthesis of DNA like anti-cancer drugs, cytosine, aravinocytes, hydroxyurea, 6-mercaptopurines, azathioprine, orotic aciduria. These also causes vitamin B12 deficiency or the folate deficiency. Cobalamin that exists in the number of different chemical forms like methylcobalamin, cyanocobalamin, hydroxycobalamin. And similarity have an cobalt atom at the center of covalent rings if we see the chemical structure of these vitamins. In nature, the vitamin cobalamin is mainly in the 2-deoxyadenosyl form. That's adenosyl cobalamin, and located in the mitochondria. So vitamins B12 are the cobalamin situated in mitochondria or in the cytoplasm. These are two sites. In the mitochondria there is a DNA synthesis, and the cytoplasm of any cells there is a DNA synthesis. And nature of vitamin is mainly in the 2-deoxyadenosyl, that is known as adenosyl cobalamin, and it is the cofactor for the enzyme L-methonyl malonyl coenzyme A mutase. So L-methonyl coenzyme A mutase enzyme required adenosyl cobalamin that is naturally present. Other major natural cobalamin is the methylcobalamin that form in human plasma and in cell cytoplasm. So there is two sites in the mitochondria, and the other is rarely in the minor amount in the human plasma, but mostly in the cell cytoplasm. And it acts as a cofactor for the methionine synthesis, that is another enzyme. So there are also minor amount of hydroxycobalamin. So methylcobalamin and adenosyl cobalamin are converted rapidly by the exposure to the lights. So whenever there is exposure to light, hydroxycobalamin is converted to methyl and adenosyl cobalamin that is required. So dietary sources, cobalamin is synthesized solely by the microorganism. So ruminants contains cobalamin from the foreguts, but the only source for human is a food of animal origin. That's why we say that the animal origin is the only source, because that is generated by the microorganism, usually in the foregut. So example like meat, fish, and some dairy products we consume. Vegetables, fruits, and other foods that are of non-animal origin are free from cobalamin. So if they are contaminated with the bacteria or microorganism, may have source of cobalamin. Otherwise, all are deficient from cobalamin. See, normal Western diet contains 5 to 30 microgram daily doses of cobalamin. Adult daily losses are the 1 to 3. That is equal to 0.1% of the body stores of the vitamins B12, and because of body doesn't have the ability to degrade cobalamin, daily requirement are also same. So that loss and this requirement is the same. In the storage there is a 5 to 30 microgram, and the body stores are the order of 2 to 3 milligrams, sufficient for up to 3 to 4 years. That's why cobalamin deficiencies occurs in the later on stage, that is severely deficient patients have symptoms. Otherwise there is a sufficient requirement is supplied by the storage. Absorption, two mechanism exist of cobalamin absorption, that is active and passive. So one is passive, that is occurring equally through the buccal mucosa, duodenal mucosa, or intestinal epithelium in the duodenum and ileum. It is rapid but extremely inefficient, which is rapid but extremely inefficient with less than 1% of an oral dose being absorbed by this process. So if we give a 1500 micrograms of the vitamin cobalamin, there's a less than 1% of his oral dose is absorbed. That is very less. Normal physiological mechanism is an active mechanism, and it occurs through the ileum only, and that is oral dose of cobalamin, and it is mediated by gastric intrinsic factors. Intrinsic factor is actually a cofactor for the absorption. Intrinsic factor कहाँ से secrete होता है? Which part? Parietal. So intrinsic factors forms a complex with the cobalamin, and that pass to the ileum, where intrinsic factor attached to the specific receptor that is known as tubulin on the intestinal microvilli, or we can say enterocytes, by which it goes into the cells. Tubulin also present in the yolk sac, in the renal proximal tubular epithelium. So one is the intestinal epithelium, specifically in the ileum. Other is renal proximal tubules in the human being. And the tubulin appears to be trafficked by means of aminolase AMN and endocytes receptor protein that direct the sublocalization and endocytosis of the tubulin. So it ligands with the IF cobalamin complex, and by the process of endocytosis it reaches to the intestine, and from that this appears in the portal blood by the attachment in the transcobalamin 2 molecules. So next come the transport from the intestine to the portal blood. So two main cobalamin receptors protein exists in the human plasma. That is cobalamin 1 and cobalamin 2. These receptors usually present in the human plasma. So one is known as transcobalamin 1, that is closely related to the cobalamin binding hydroxycobalamin in the milk, gastric juice, bile, saliva, and other fluids. The major cobalamin transport protein in plasma is the transcobalamin, known as transcobalamin 2 receptors. How these patients present clinically? So many symptomless patients are detected only incidental finding by the increased MCV, means corpuscular volume. If patient is having fatigue or other symptoms, or sometimes with other pathology comes to you, and we prescribe a CPC that indicate there is an increased MCV, so one of the cause may be due to cobalamin deficiency. Some main clinical features in the most severe cases are those of anemia. As anemia itself have symptoms like lethargy, fatigue, decreased appetite, anorexia. In the cases of cobalamin deficiency, anorexia is marked. This is severe loss of appetite. And there may be weight loss, diarrhea, or constipation. Sometimes patient may present with the constipated, or sometimes with loose motions. And significant weight loss may be seen in the patient of megaloblastic anemia. Glossitis, angular chelosis, mild fever in more severely anemic patients, because these patients have chances to exposure to the different type of infections, so these are present with the mild grade of fever, and the glossitis and chelosis may be seen. Jaundice, unconjugated type of jaundice may be seen. That is specifically sometimes patient presenting to you with the mild grade of jaundice with megaloblastic anemia. That is not due to the viral hepatitis, but not due to the hemolysis. But itself, megaloblastic anemia causes unconjugated type of jaundice. Reversible melanin skin hyperpigmentation, that is specific and peculiarity in the megaloblastic anemia, by which we can diagnose patient may have megaloblastic anemia. Specifically in the knuckles, there is a hyperpigmentation. Thrombocytopenia, megaloblastic anemia may have present with thrombocytopenia, decreased platelet count. So patient may have easily bruising and aggravated by the vitamin C deficiency or alcohol, or sometimes other causes like cancers or diabetes. So these patients have a malnourishment or alcohol vitamin C deficiency coexisting with megaloblastic anemia, has chances to more thrombocytopenia and chances to bruising. So sometimes patient have a megaloblastic anemia coming to you with the thrombocytopenia itself megaloblastic anemia. You have to see for the vitamin C deficiency, or patient may have some cases of cancers or diabetes or alcohol. So anemia, low leukocyte count, have predisposing to infections, specifically in the respiratory tract or the urinary tract infections. And cobalamin deficiency is also associated with few studies with impaired bactericidal functions of phagocytes, and these have osteoporosis. So all these have clinical features of megaloblastic anemia. Specifically symptoms: hyperpigmentation, unconjugated jaundice, pancytopenia. So patient coming to you with history of lethargy, weakness, loss of appetite, sometimes altered bowel habits like a constipation or diarrhea, weight loss. Go for CBC, MCV is raised, you have suspected a vitamin B12 deficiency or folate deficiency in the form of megaloblastic anemia, go for the PBF examinations. So which specifically by the peripheral blood film we can see megaloblastic cells, and then we have to go for this LFT, RFT, TSH, thyroid hormone, and diabetes, specifically blood sugar. So association with some immunocompromised patients, malnourished patients, hypothyroidism, vitamin C deficiency, having alcohol consumptions by the LFT, we can diagnose patient have a megaloblastic anemia with association of these. Specifically in the vegans, they have no animal source of food in their daily habits, so chances to more than megaloblastic anemia. In the next class, we will discuss about how will you treat a case of megaloblastic anemia. There is different modality to treat the case of megaloblastic anemia by the sublingual preparations, oral and injectable.